Good evening, folks. Thrash Pondo here, and I'm back with yet another one of my creepy classics. And as you've probably deduced by this stage, yes, this is another episode of my Savage Tales. The cover art on this one is not related to the story arc we're following. It's not Bane and his trials and tribulations. This is sort of a post-apocalyptic zombie police chase. Busty motorcycle girls have commandeered a 18-wheeler and are going around crashing zombie cops. Has nothing to do with any of the stories inside the magazine, but just shows you the intense 80s cover art that we used to get back here. Let's see, when was this? The August issue. This is issue 6. Would have had to have been from August of 86. I turned 19 that year. But anyway, I'm going to cut to the proverbial chase. Many of you have asked for another one of the Bane saga, and this is actually the first installment. This was now I know I picked up at a later installment, so just kind of think of this one as a prequel. And here we see a bustling metropolis in the not too distant future. A lot of people indulging in actions of questionable morality. Here, this is actually kind of cute. We see there's this little stand here selling water. Not beer, not sodas, but water. And if you can read it, it's $3 a cup or $5 pint. So yes, in the future, water is scarce and people have to pay top dollar for it. More about that later. And here we see the principal bad guy by the name of Roscoe. And yeah, he's gotten out on bail and he's indulging in some unsavory actions with this woman and talking about how isn't it nice to be out on bail and he's like, well, gee, Roscoe, you didn't even have like a dime. How did you get out? He goes, well, yeah, I know, but the bondsman, he had plenty of dimes and he put up the money, and I'm just gonna scoot and he'll have to pick up the check. And there's a knock at the door, and when he answers the door, we see a frightened little girl. Sound familiar? And the frightened little girl pretends to be lost, and she says, gee, mister, my mommy is very sick, and I can't wake her up. And I tried, and she won't wake up. And clearly, he's being duped into thinking this little girl's mom is having a heroin overdose. And he's like, well, what do you want me to do? Go through her pockets? And the young lady, not the little girl, but the lady that he's with, convinces him to go out and try to help the girl. And as soon as he enters the hallway, he's like, "Wait, you're not a sick mom. You're a really sick dad." And the guy's like, "Hey, you're coming with me, one way or the other." And yeah, here's the trick. Bane sends his little girl in to get these reprobates, and then he takes them in and gets the bond for him. And here we see the guy Bane worked for, and he says, "Hey, thanks for bringing another one in alive. That's 3 this week. So much nicer than the death certificates I got to bring to court." And oh, by the way, here's a big one for you. I really need this one because this guy's worth 300 grand to me. And he says, "Oh, and hey, this one's kind of dangerous. Maybe you shouldn't bring your daughter." And McBain makes this face. He's like, "Oh, okay, never mind. I won't give you dad advice." Yeah, apparently it's a tender subject with Bane, and here we see why. Bane's having a conversation with his informant slash motorcycle mechanic who says, "Yeah, I know the guy you're looking for. He hangs out this place called Smiley. It's called Smiley's because the guy who owns it has this great set of teeth and is always smiling. More about that later." We're on the subject. Hey, McBain, why don't you pay me some of the money you owe me on this, like, 20-year-old bike. I've been keeping it in good shape." And Bane's like, I'll get you later. And he goes, "Oh, I wouldn't bring your daughter around here. It's kind of a bad neighborhood, particularly after what happened to Nora. Apparently, the little girl's mother is Nora, McBain's uh, erstwhile wife." And again, it's a tender spot. He's like, "Hey, don't you worry. My little girl can take care of herself." And they go into Smiley's, and Bane tells everyone to get lost so he and Smiley can talk some business. This guy here, this is the proverbial Smiley, this sort of futuristic punk rock dude. And McBain says to him, I'm looking for this guy here. And Smile's like, oh, yeah, I can help you with that. But we have to arrange at an equitable price. And he's like, oh, so you want equity, huh? Let's see, equitable price is hey, how about I knock your teeth on your throat? And then maybe I'll just let you live. The little girl drops an 8 ball on his head just as a reminder of how close he came. And so anyway, Bane has his information and he goes off to settle the hash of this bounty jumper. And he leaves the little girl out by herself to guard the motorcycle. And these reprobates are like, yeah, the only thing guarding that motorcycle is a little girl. This should be easy. And it's so easy. In fact, they decided to tip their hand and they say, hey, your father owes our friend some bridge work. So we're going to take this bike as compensation. And she proceeds to pop out a hand grenade and pulls the pin out. And they're like, yeah, I forgot I have an appointment with my parole officer. And so anyway, they scoot and McBain approaches the building and there's a certain amount of bodyguards. And hey, lo and behold, he manages to get by them. And the guards turn on the person they're supposed to be guarding. So he manages to go right to their room. And here we see this sort of mad scientist type, Dr. Strangelove, who's created a bomb. And well, guess what? McBain's way ahead of him. So he grabbed the bomb and turned the proverbial tables. And they look out, or this will go kaboom. Yeah, kaboom as in blam. And anyway, now Smiley, he's nervous. Now he's like, holy cow, my henchmen have all not killed McBain. I was kind of banking on that. Now he will almost certainly come for revenge. And uncanny. Look who shows up looking for revenge. And the man formerly known as Smiley says, oh, come on, McBain, don't kill me. I didn't know they were going to kill you. I didn't turn on you. I didn't know anything. I just want to stay alive. Give me one more chance. And the little girl knocks him out. Okay, well, if you're such a nice guy, why did you send the henchman to kill me when I was guarding the bike? And he's like, abada, 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 abada. And Bane ends on your typical 80s tough guy last, climactic words before he does something really, really cool. He goes, hey, consider yourself lucky. I never do this for free. And kablam. And supposedly, Mr. Smiley smiling no more. Anyway, that's all I got for you tonight. Again, Savage Tales 86. If you like these, I do have a couple more. There's only one more Bane that I know I have for a fact. But there's plenty of other stories that I'm sure I could make a meal out of. Anyway, oh, just so you guys know, no Sunday night chat tonight. I'm taking it off for the Super Bowl. Actually, this year, of all things, Mrs. Thrash wants to watch it with me. So we're going to indulge in a local place, has some great wings, and we're going to have our own little Super Bowl party, I guess you could say, right here. Anyway, and there will, of course, then be no live chat this week. There will be one next week, and there will, of course, be the general fellowship, Q&A, and world famous trivia. I will probably also have more content for you next week, but this will be all I have for you this week. So until next week, be good, be safe, be careful, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again very, 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 very soon. Peace.